Am I the a-hole for leaving my ex homeless? My ex and I are 29 years old and had been dating since we were in high school. We were in the midst of planning our wedding up until 2 weeks ago when I found out she was having an affair. One day when my ex was out, I noticed her dad had been spamming her with messages that showed up on her Apple Watch. I got curious, wondering if something might have been wrong, so I decided to check the messages, and that's when I realized it wasn't her dad. The messages were full of some guy expressing how excited he was to hook up with her later that night. She had named the guy she was cheating on me with dad on her watch in order to hide suspicion, and he had just blown her cover with his excitement. Before she got home, I decided to hide the watch, and when she got back she began searching for it, asking me if I'd seen it, to which I responded cluelessly, telling her I hadn't seen it all day and assumed she took it with her. I then purposely started becoming distant and she noticed. She started panicking, texting her best friend, telling her all about how she lost her watch and how I've been acting distant. She was worried I might have found out about her affair. Her best friend had the decency to message me later on in the day, warning me that my ex was having an affair and that she'd be confessing to me in a few weeks. I told her that I already knew because I had her watch and I was watching the messages roll in. I also told her that I would be getting my revenge by the end of the month. Her friend said if I needed someone to lean on, she was always there and that she'd be willing to help me execute my revenge. A few weeks went by and our apartment lease was finally up, so I started packing everything. I also took all my money from our shared account. I woke up early the next day to throw all my stuff in my car and waited for her to get home so she could confess about her affair. When she did, I nodded and left without saying a word. As she was chasing after me asking where I was going, I said nothing and hopped into my car, getting ready to drive myself over to my brother's for the night. I woke up today to multiple messages and voicemails about why rent wasn't paid and why there was someone telling her she needed to leave. She had also decided to message my family, telling them all that she's homeless because of me, and called me an a-hole. Nearly all my siblings and father agreed that she deserved what I did except for my sister and my mother. They also called me an a-hole for leaving her stranded and for taking half the money out of the account, but the only thing I took was the money I made. They said I should have tried to work things, and my mother even messaged me privately telling me that my fiancée was starting to have thoughts of ending her life, and that if I didn't take her back then she was going to disown me and cut me out of the will. I told her my ex was no longer my problem, and if she really was homeless then she could go live with that guy she destroyed our 13-year relationship for. Am I the a-hole for ditching this cheater?